Fox, you guys. It's me.
I'm Amanda Fox, and this is my persuasive speech. When people are considering going back to school, there are so many different kinds of things to consider, whether you're just graduating high school or a person going back to school. People worry about price as well as the quality of the education they're receiving. I think that my business teacher at Clackamas Community College put it the best way, Dr. Hatfield. He said that community college isn't cheap, it's a value. Students are getting the same education that they would anywhere else for a cheaper price, and these students are from all over from different walks of life. And I couldn't agree more, personally. 4-year colleges offer many good programs, but the prices are so high. College tuitions are rising every year, and sometimes it stops students from continuing their education because it's so expensive. But community colleges offer so many advantages. They offer a diverse student population, so many different classes, and a personal relationship with the staff you won't get anywhere else. Walking around CCC, I encounter so many different types of people from many different walks of life. They're the students who just graduated high school. And then there's the people going back to school because they want a new career. And there's also the people who are auditing classes because they're old enough and it's free. First I want to talk about students who are going back to high school. Walking around campus, you run into tons of these people. And with rising tuition prices, it's no surprise that they're going to CCC. According to collegeboard.com, the average price of a private school, not including room and board, is $27,000. That's so expensive. And then public universities aren't very much better, not including room and board. Schools like PSU and U of O average out at around $8,000. That's, again, super expensive. I personally, for my this year at CCC, only paid $3,500. And that's including the 2 terms where I took more than 12 credits. And next I want to talk about people going back to school. You know, people decide that they want to change their career or they want something more. And personally, I know 3 different people who decided to do that. I know that personally my mom, when I was 12, decided that she wanted to go back to school. And our family could never have afforded the prices that they pay at PSU or even U of O or Warren Pacific. They're just too expensive on the income that my family had. And there's also my boyfriend's parents. They both decided to go back to school because they wanted something better for their families, for themselves as well. And the CCC prices, or community colleges in general, are just so much more approachable and more for families. High tuition costs would drive these people away from going back to school. Families would have trouble finding the money to pay for these things. I know my family did. And lastly, the group of students is students who are older going back to school and auditing classes for free. Many universities offer this kind of service. But for these students who are going back to CCC, there are so many people auditing that they don't feel alone. I know that in my classes I've run into lots of different kinds of people in auditing classes, at least 2 in each of my classes. And another personal example is my grandfather. He's never had a computer in his life. And he got one recently, and he had no idea how to use it. He was constantly calling me and my dad and asking us questions, and eventually we just didn't know how to answer some of them. So my dad eventually offered the idea of going to a community college and auditing the classes. It's free, and he would get the basic skills he needs, and the price wouldn't stop him, and that's such a great asset to the community. 4-year universities offered lots of different kinds of races of students, but the student population itself tends to be kind of homogenous. They're mostly the same. Many are recent high school graduates trying to get their degrees, but CCC offers a diverse population. In the real world, you're going to be expected to deal with lots of different people, and that's the kind of practice that CCC or community colleges kind of offer. And have you ever flipped through the CCC handbook at the beginning of every term? The number of classes they offer is seriously impressive. There are so many different types of classes. There are dance classes, automotive classes, equestrian classes, driver's ed classes, and those are just on top of your standard college courses like psych, history, and writing. Community colleges are such an asset to the community because they offer so many different types of classes that benefit students as well as the community. 4-year universities focus on populations that they are meant to serve, which are young students getting their degrees. For example, have you seen the Portland Community College commercials that they've been showing lately? They focus on students rounding out themselves instead of just taking classes for their degree. The commercial offers examples like, I want to take a Spanish class because my trip to Peru, or I want to take a gardening class just because my garden wants to be the best in the whole neighborhood. And this is just a whole new kind of thing where they're offering classes for the community to help round themselves. For example, another thing at CCC is they offer automotive classes that go as late as 2 o'clock in the morning. These fit for people who aren't the 9-to-5 students who can take these kind of classes. It helps the community and it's such an asset. Like I said before, 4-year colleges just wouldn't profit from offering classes that assist the community. They make money because they serve the population that they need, students, and they just wouldn't profit from offering classes like beading or automotive classes. Community colleges serve a population that's so diverse and its needs are as diverse as they are. Maybe somebody wants to take a beading class or an equestrian class. They just would help their community. I have heard so many horror stories about four-year universities and their lack of personal contact with the employees. For example, I have students or friends who go to like U of O and OSU where there are hundreds of students in their classes and they have to sign their papers with their student ID numbers. The professors don't know their names and the grad students grade all of their papers. As a community college student, this is so foreign to me. I'm used to 40 students in the classes, the professor knows their name, and you just get a really personal experience. And not just with the professors, but with the guidance counselors and every single staff member you come in contact with. First of all, with the professors. Like I said earlier, the community college students enjoy such a more personal relationship because there's so many less students. All my professors have known my name and have asked me about which degrees I'm going into, and it's so much more personal, and they have so many much more convenient office hours for you to go visit. And also the other staff, like the guidance counselors or the in the community center, they offer so many academic advising services that you can go in and get at any time. You just go and ask them questions, and they can make anything personal for your different type of lifestyle. The classes you should be taking, what certificates you should be getting. They offer so many great things. And there's also, and if you call them with an emergency, you can get a hold of them almost at any time. And this isn't just including the general staff. Lastly, there's the people who work in the bookstore, the lunchroom, in the community center that you just run into that just know your personal story. Like, I run into the guy at the bookstore who every term I buy my books from, he knows my boyfriend and I. He teases us, he asks us about our classes. Or the lunch lady who I see all the time, who just asks me how my psych class is going because last time we talked about it. And it's so nice to have that kind of personal experience with all the staff at the school. And four-year colleges just can't offer that kind of thing, because when there's 20,000 students on a campus that live there, how are the professors going to know everyone's name, or how's the professor going to remember you from 3 terms ago? It's just not possible. Four-year universities offer a lot of programs that help students and that attend their schools, but they're just not able to offer the kind of things that a community college is able to offer, with the alternative classes and programs. Not only is the student population diverse, they offer so many different kinds of classes that help the community, and the experience you get is so personal. So next time you know somebody, or you're personally considering whether you should go to a four-year college or a community college, you should really think to yourself and remember what my business teacher said. Community college is a value and one that you yourself should take advantage of. Thank you.